From Magome-juku to Tsumago-juku, Samurai Road Journey, 43 spots of interest to learn about Japan. This time I will introduce you to the Medaki and Odaki Falls, which have been sites on the Samurai Road since ancient times, and the legend of Kurashina-sama associated with the waterfalls. I also go to the beautiful Tsumago-juku, where the Edo townscape has been preserved. A must-see is Tsumago-juku Wakihonjin, a great photo spot. Do not miss it. Medaki Odaki Waterfalls. As you go down the stairs, you will hear the powerful sound of the waterfall, and then two waterfalls will appear right in front of you. The one on the right is the Medaki Fall, and the one on the left is the Odaki Fall. This place has been a popular tourist spot and resting place for travelers since the road was built. Although the height of the waterfall and the depth of the basin have decreased due to changes in the topography by such as Jianuke, it still retains the splendor of the abundant water flow. It is romantic to think that many feudal lords, samurai, and travelers rested here while looking at the same waterfall. The waterfall was depicted as an illustration for the introduction of Magome in the 1805 Hisoji Famous Places Book Volume 3. This waterfall is also depicted in the 1837 ukiyo-e woodblock print of the 69 stations of the Kiso Kaido, entitled Kiso Kaido, Magome no Toge Pass, and Distant Views. It is also the setting for the novel Miyamoto Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa. The legend of Kurashina-sama is told about this waterfall. When Toyotomi Hideyoshi came to power in 1586, the lord of Matsumoto Castle in Nagano gave his vassal Kurashina Tomonori a rare golden chicken and ordered a journey to present it to Hideyoshi. However, this information was leaked to the bandits. The Kurashina family stays at Tsumago-juku, but the bandits gave the innkeeper a large sum of money. The innkeeper deceived the Kurashina family to leave before dawn. Then, the Kurashina family was attacked by bandits in Odaki, Medaki, and lost their lives. At that moment, the golden chicken jumped into the basin of the Medaki waterfall and disappeared. After that, the cries of chickens could be heard coming from the waterfall, and after hearing the cries, disasters such as landslides began to occur repeatedly. The people of Tsumago-juku realized that it was the curse of the Kurashina. It is said that when the people of Tsumago-juku built the nearby Kurashina Soreisha shrine in mourning, they could no longer hear the chickens' cries, and disasters ceased to occur.
坂道進んでいこうと思います。ここの階段も気をつけないと。急勾配ですね。しかも柵がないですね。こんにちは。Hello.
Kurashina Soreisha. This is a shrine dedicated to the Kurashina, which was attacked by bandits and is mentioned in the Kurashina-sama legend of Odaki and Medaki. It is said that about 30 people lost their lives in the attack on March 4th, 1586. The Kurashina superiors, the Ogasawara clan, and the Kiso clan, which ruled this area, often fought wars, and it is speculated that this attack may have been due to the conflict. Kannon. Since the early modern period, domestic distribution has become more active, and horses are increasingly used as a means of transportation and to carry goods. As a result, Batu Kannon was enshrined at the roadside of the old road, where the horse suddenly died, and it is left as a memorial stone for the animal. What you will see here is unusual because it is a memorial stone for black cattle, not horses. The Ushikata were in charge of transporting goods with black cattle, and the leader of the group was the Enmei family we introduced earlier. The faces of Kannon statues usually have a kind face, but the faces of Batu Kannon and Gyuto Kannon are characterized by their angry faces. It is believed that the intensity of anger crushes suffering and evil and removes disasters. Koshin Stone Monument. It was believed that on the night of Koshin Day, which came once every 60 days, neighborhoods should gather at a house and spend all over the night. It is said that when a person sleeps on that night, an insect called sanshi will come out of his body and go to report his daily sins to the emperor in heaven. Therefore, this custom arose from the teaching that it is better to gather without sleeping on that day. The stone monument of this Koshin belief remains here. The late vigil on Koshin Day, held once every 60 days, seems to have started out as a solemn time of worship. But since it was a time when entertainment was scarce, it became a fun party held once every 2 months. This information board says that the Koshin belief was introduced from China. You can also find Koshin stone monuments in Magome-juku and on the road near Odaki. Otsumago and Fujiwara residence. Otsumago is a small village near Tsumago-juku. There are several small inns, and the old townscape has been preserved. If you go up the hill, you will also find the Fujiwara family residence, a very old private house built in the mid-17th century. Stone signpost. If you cross the river by walking on the bridge, you can see a large stone marker about 3 meters high inside a private house area. In the past, this place prospered as a junction between Nakasendo and Ida roads. This stone marker was placed at the fork in the road when the new road was opened in 1881. It is now buried among private houses, showing that the road environment has changed over time. Omata Bridge. This is a bridge over the Araragi River, which flows next to Tsumago-juku. The river joins the Great Kiso River 1.6 kilometers to the north. Omata Bridge has a bridge for cars and a bridge for pedestrians. The pedestrian bridge has wooden railings. There are warnings on the wooden signs. The street below the temple. This is where the movement to preserve the Edo-era streetscape of Tsumago-juku began. 300 years ago, during the Edo period, post towns looked like this. When Tsumago-juku gets dark in the evening, each house is lit with lanterns. The lack of other lights and the light of the lanterns give the town a beautiful and mysterious atmosphere. Enmei Jizo, Bunka 10th year, 1813. While a villager was fishing in the Araragi River, he climbed up a stone, was thrown off, and fell into the river. When he looked at the stone to see what had happened, the sleeping figure of Jizo, a Buddha, appeared on the stone. It was said that there was a great commotion in the town, so they pulled it out of the river and held a memorial service here. Every year, a festival is held on April 23rd and 24, and it is said that at this time, water oozes out of the body like sweat, and it is said that the body takes on the hardships of other people. It is also known as Asakaki Jizo, meaning sweaty Jizo, and is loved by local people. Masugata. There was one in Magome-juku, but there was also a Masugata in Tsumago-juku, which served to protect the post town where the feudal lords resided from rebel forces. The Masugata in Tsumago-juku is located between Terashita, the street below the temple, and Kamimachi, where the Honjin is located. Post Office Museum. You can see materials such as the history of Japan's postal system, old mailboxes, and old stamps. An old postman dressed in black and red. He looks like a ninja. Post towns in the Edo period also had the role of messengers, so they were a key point for transmitting information from long ago. Tourist Information Center. If you borrowed a bear bell from Magome-juku, return it here. You can also get a stamp for your certificate of completion. It is not paper. It is made of thin cypress wood. As expected, this is a place where forestry has been practiced. If you want to take the bus back to Magome-juku, you can buy your bus ticket here. Tsumago-juku Honjin. This is the Honjin used by feudal lords to stay at Tsumago-juku. It is also the birthplace of Toson Shimazaki's mother. Honjins, which were located in post towns all over the country and whose main customers were feudal lords, became unprofitable as a business when the Sankin Kotai finished in the Meiji period and fell into disrepair. The Honjin in Tsumago-juku also came to an end in the 1890s, when Toson Shimazaki's older brother finished his role as the last head of it and went to work in Tokyo, and it was demolished. The current Honjin is a restored building based on the layout of the late Edo period Honjin. There is a Jinba Kaisho at the entrance to the Honjin. This was where officials worked, and their job was to provide transportation services with men and horses for passengers. It is said to have been the busiest place in the post town. Tsumago-juku Wakihonjin Okuya. Waki-Honjin was prepared as a backup in case Honjin could not be used when feudal lords stayed overnight. This was run by the Hayashi family. The name of the accommodation is Okuya. The current building was built entirely of cypress in 1877, after the Edo period's ban on deforestation, called Kisogoboku, was lifted. Since Waki-Honjin was a temporary facility used by the Sankin Katai, it was not possible to establish a business on one's own, and many of them had side jobs. The Hayashi family ran a sake, Japanese rice wine, brewing business along with the management of Waki-Honjin. For this reason, even after the end of the Sankin Kotai, the building did not suddenly become abandoned, unlike Honjin, and could be maintained. If you light a fire in a hearth in a house without a chimney, Black soot will remain on the floor and pillars of the house. This seems to have been useful as an insect repellent. Emperor Meiji stayed in the back room. At that time, it was necessary to prepare a high desk in the Western style, but this was unusual at that time, and the craftsmen did not know the shape, so the lower leg supports were placed on 4 sides instead of 3. Apparently, the desk ended up being a bit difficult to use. When the weather is good, the sun shines through Waki-Honjin like a spotlight, making it a popular photo spot for its mystical scenery. Nagiso Historical Museum. If you walk through the back of Waki-Honjin, you will find the History Museum. The history of Tsumago-juku and the Kiso region from ancient times to modern times is explained through antiques, videos, and models. Exhibits include matchlock rifles used for hunting and defense during the Edo period, short sword, wakizashi, owned by government officials, saws used to cut down trees, and firefighting suits used during fires. Some exhibits have explanations in English, but many exhibits have explanations only in Japanese, so we recommend that foreigners use Google Lens. From Magome-juku to Tsumago-juku Samurai Road Journey, 43 points of interest to learn about Japanese culture. Volume 4. Next time, I leave go to Carp Rock in Tsumago-juku, the final destination of our day trip, while experiencing the warmth of people and art.
Curiosity connects us all. If you love discovering real culture, please subscribe this channel.